I am here on Royal Caribbean's Explorer of the Seas. I'm on the 80s cruise, and if you've been following the cruise news for the last few days, you know that we had a passenger go overboard on the very first night of the cruise when we left Miami. And more information has come out. We haven't gotten a ton of information on the cruise ship as to what exactly happened or who the passenger was, which you wouldn't think that you would. But now I'm starting to see some reports about what actually happened, and it involves one of the bands here on this cruise. So I want to let you guys know everything that I know because I hear a lot of people talking about it. And yeah, so let's talk about Overboard on the 80s cruise. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, and we talk about everything that's going on in cruising. I've gotten so many messages from people or people in the comments like, did somebody go overboard on your cruise? Have you ever been on a cruise where somebody's gone overboard? It's not really important me in this story, but to answer the question, I don't think I've ever been on a cruise where somebody has gone overboard. But the way it worked out, I boarded this cruise on Sunday in Miami. It's a whole vibe. It's a whole thing, and great sail away party, getting acclimated to the schedule. And basically the way that it's working on a nightly basis is you have a band that's playing in Studio B. If you're familiar with Royal ships, it's kind of like the ice skating rink, but it also converts into a nice performance area. Band performing in Studio B for about an hour, and then there's two full 90-minute concerts in the theater, and depending whether you're a red card or a blue card, that determines which show you go to. So I'm a red card, and that means I go to the late show. So that's my theater show. So I'm going to the like 7. Let me look and see what time these shows are, just so I'm not confused. The Studio B show happens from 7:15 to 8:30, so an hour and 15 minutes. And then you have the big like 90-minute show in the main theater from 9 p.m. to 10:30. So it's pretty great. I mean, you're getting a lot of concert time. And so that was the scenario on the first night of the cruise. I had Faster Pussycat from 7:15 to 8:30, and then I had the band Squeeze from 9 to 10:30. And that's kind of how my night went. I saw Faster Pussycat set, and I knew a few of their songs. I was kind of a metal kid in the 80s. They crushed. It was great. It was really great. And then I popped over after that show, immediately went and got in line for the theater, got a seat for Squeeze, and met some people. I was able to, they assigned the seats on some level in the theater, and I was able to sit fairly close and see Squeeze. Again, I only knew a few songs, but it was fantastic. And then the other big event that was happening on day one was that they would be announcing the lineup for the next 80s cruise, which is going to be the 10-year cruise starting. It's happening in 2026. And so there's supposed to be a big gathering at 11 p.m. in the main promenade to find out who's going to be on the next cruise. And so I got out of the Squeeze show, and I came back to the cabin to make sure that I had what I needed. I wanted to make sure I was able to record the announcement. It was charging up some batteries, and while we were in the cabin, there was an announcement that there was a person overboard, and that the ship was turning around to aid in the search effort. We were repositioning, heading back toward Miami, because a person had gone overboard. We weren't really sure what that meant. That was just the announcement, just so I guess people knew why we were turning around. Everybody started to gather in the promenade for the 11 p.m. announcement of the lineup for the 2026 80s cruise. And they came out, and they, right at 11, when the announcement was supposed to happen, and said, hey, we're in the middle of this search activity, and we don't want to play our 10-minute announcement video over the PA, because if the captain or the crew need to break in, we don't want to tie up the PA system, which I thought was a really class move, really solid move by the 80s cruise. So they said, look, we're going to postpone that announcement until the next day, until day 2. And they did announce it last night. So that's all that we heard. Eventually it became obvious that we were going back in the direction of Nassau, and that we would be in Nassau on day 2, which was true. We were there a little late. We stayed a little later. Yesterday morning, there was an announcement that came in the cabin where the captain said that we left the search in the hands of the Coast Guard. We're making our way to Nassau. We'll be to Nassau a little later. We'll stay a little later. But as of that time, there had been no recovery of the person that was overboard. And, for the respect of the family and the people involved, they weren't going to give out any more information. And then that's where they left it. So certainly everybody on board, you would talk to people and they're like, "Oh, did you hear about it?" That kind of thing. So it definitely, it's tragedy, and so people are thinking about it. And that's all I really heard about it until later, or I guess just a little while today. This is day 3. I started looking, and a lot of the celebrity websites, the TMZ people, Perez Hilton, those kind of places have been reporting that the overboard incident had to do with a band on board. Sadly, what they're reporting is that the Faster Pussycat lead singer, which I saw that night, Taime Downe, his fiance, Kimberly Burch, is the person that went overboard. TMZ people, they're getting their information from Kimberly Burch's mother, Carnell Burch. She said that Taime called her on Monday to tell her about the news, that she went overboard. And, even Carnell Burch says it's not clear whether she fell or if she jumped or what happened. She did say that Kimberly had been drinking, which was unusual for her, but that to her knowledge, she didn't have any emotional or depression or issues like that, and that she was excited for this trip from Miami. Gosh, it's so sad. It's so sad. And all life's important. I'm not saying that this story is any more important because it has to do with a celebrity, but it is weird contextually, right? That we're here to see these bands, and now that there's a tragedy with one of the bands. No more or less significant loss of human life is the same tragic. But yeah, so whatever way you do it, when it comes to sending out positive vibes or thoughts or prayers or whatever you do it, certainly this mother and this the fiance, this guy, certainly in need of that. But yeah, I just want to put it out. I've been getting a lot of questions. What's going on with the person overboard? And it turns out to be something with Faster Pussycat. The cruise continues on. It's fantastic time. I've got a lot more to say. I don't want to spend time going into it here because it doesn't seem appropriate. But there'll be more upbeat about the '80s cruise things, and I think they've handled it really well. So yeah. There you go. That's the actual deal from here on Explorer of the Seas. We know that somebody went overboard. I don't know if everybody knows about who it is or what it is, but certainly these external websites are now reporting that it was the fiance of the lead singer of Faster Pussycat. So there you go. If you want to stay up to date with all this cruising information, La Lido Loca is the place for you. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching this update. It's Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.